Okay, so extreme sports and the Ozaki 8. So for this, I focused on a movie called Point Break, and it's a non-fictional movie about finding enlightenment through nature. And a quote actually from the movie is, "Nature will find a way to make you feel small." And the reason the movie is called Point Break is because the extreme sports used in this will push you to the point where you break. So the first thing in the Ozaki 8 is called emerging force. And for this, they use base jumping. And base jumping stands for buildings, antennas, spans or like bridges, and earth. And typically, they jump off of an object that has a low altitude so that there's less time to deploy a parachute. And so it gives it more of a thrill. And when they do deploy a parachute, it's a rectangular parachute so they can guide away from whatever object they just jumped off of. And it's incredibly risky and illegal in some places. And this was done in the movie in Mount Everest in Tibet. The second thing is called Birth of Sky, and this is skydiving. And skydiving is typically done in an airplane about a minimum of 15,000 feet, and you're free falling at about 120 miles an hour. You don't have to get a license to skydive. If you don't have a license, a lot of times they'll do tandem skydiving where you fall with a professional. And when you do get a license, you can jump in formation with 4 or more people. You can jump with a skyboard and do tricks. You can jump with the goal of maximum speed in free falling. And you can also try night jumping. The chances of dying is only 1 in 100,000, so it's really like not a ton. But this was done in St. Luis Potosi, Mexico, in the film. And the third thing in the Ozaki 8 is Awakening Earth. And this in the film, it's penetrating into the cave of swallows after skydiving. So it's a little hard to explain, but it's like a hole in the earth where after skydiving they just like go into the hole, and then they release their parachute. And this was also done in San Luis Potosi, Mexico, and that was also used with a rectangular parachute because they're kind of in a cave and they don't want to just like fall straight down. The fourth thing is called Life of Water, and it's surfing waves about 20 to 30 meters high for that thrill. And this is done in Biarritz, France. The fifth thing is Life of Wind, and this is flying with a wingsuit from the top of a mountain. So wingsuit flying, you kind of look like a flying squirrel. There's extra fabric under the arms and between the legs to provide enough lift for flight, and it allows you to like free fall longer, or like you're flying in a way. You only need 200 recorded jumps before you can wingsuit. And if you're interested, they have starter classes for only $100. This was done in Cherfston Mountain side in Switzerland. The sixth thing is called Life of Ice, and this was snowboarding from the top of a mountainside, or from the top of an ice mountain to the mountainside. And it's actually really dangerous. Like, one of the guys in the movies died in the movie, not for real. And this was done in Aosta Valley in Italy. The seventh thing is Master of 6 Lives, because you've completed 6 of the 8 tasks already. And this is climbing with no safety equipment. And this was done in Angel Falls, Venezuela. And rock climbing without any safety equipment is called free solo climbing, and it's using only your hands, feet, and body, and like just finding holes to like put your hands and feet in. And the last task to do is the act of ultimate trust, and it's jumping into the waterfall. So after he climbed it with no safety equipment, he jumped into Angel Falls, and it's trusting that you'll live. So the sports used in Point Break are base jumping, skydiving, surfing, wingsuit flying, climbing, and falling, if that's an extreme sport.